Halifax real estate is broken, and the cracks are showing everywhere. Over the past several years, we've seen a huge increase in population, resulting in massive amounts of demand, several policy changes, and instead of fixing the market, prices have only skyrocketed, leaving buyers, sellers, and renters very frustrated. In today's video, I'm going to talk about why the system in Halifax feels broken and what it means for you if you're looking to buy or sell in the near future. But just before I get into it, if you're new here, my name is Andrew Stevens. I've been a realtor in Halifax for over 10 years, and I've sold over 500 homes across the HRM. And if you'd like to get in touch with me about the real estate market, you can reach out to me anytime in the Calendly link below at a time when it's convenient for you. So let's start off with some context before we get into some of the problems that we're seeing. Over the past several years, the population here has been increasing at a level that no one really could have predicted. We've seen people migrating from Ontario, from out west, from all across Canada, from across the world for that matter. Add in international students, remote workers, and families looking for more affordability versus some of the big cities like Toronto or Vancouver. And suddenly our market here in Halifax looks very different than it did just 5 or 10 years ago. The problem, housing supply didn't keep up. Developers couldn't build fast enough to keep up with this added demand in our marketplace. And on top of that, the homes that they were building were oftentimes not the types of homes that were needed or that weren't affordable to the masses. On top of that, you tack in several policy changes from provincial and municipal and federal governments, such as transfer taxes, foreign buyer bans, the rent cap. And the problem with this is that those things didn't really solve any of the problems. And if anything, it just added some more issues on top of the ones that we already have, just coming from sort of a different angle. So the result is a market that feels like it's working against everybody. Let's start off with one of the biggest issues that we have in our market right now, and that is affordability, or the lack thereof affordability. The average income in Halifax has become completely disconnected from the average home price in Halifax. So for context, somebody with an average household income right now in Halifax will get approved somewhere probably in the range of $400,000 to $450,000, depending on their debt loads, compared to the average sale price of a home in Halifax right now is just over $600,000. So it's not even really close. This gap continues to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I have made a video specifically on this topic on my channel before, which you can check out in the top corner here. But this is a huge problem. First-time homebuyers are having trouble getting into the market. And even if they can scrape together a down payment, it's very difficult to qualify at today's rates and today's prices to get into a home that makes sense for them. And if you look at the other side of the coin with renting, they are not doing much better. And yes, the rent cap is protecting some of these renters who are already in existing units, but when they leave, that clock resets and the developer or owner can put it at whatever they want. So they're facing huge increases for the next tenant going in there. So the reality is renting is almost just as expensive as buying, except without the ability to build any equity. The result, for many Haligonians, owning a home seems further away than ever. So let's talk about problem number 2 in our market right now, and that is a supply issue. Right now, most of the supply that we're building is rentals. We're not building really many entry-level homes or any condos. Right now, developers are chasing what is profitable, and at this point, based on my assessment of what I'm seeing out there, I would suggest that this is rentals and high-end luxury homes, because we're not seeing anything of the latter. Now, if you're looking for context, if you're looking in, let's say, the Halifax Peninsula and downtown Dartmouth, for example, there's tons of cranes in the sky. There's only one new condo building right now coming to the market that's being built. Everything else is rentals. On top of that, building costs are higher than ever, with serious issues with labor shortages, delays, permitting, all these things. So instead of building homes for middle-class families, most of the homes that we are building in general are unaffordable to the masses. The result, this leaves a huge gap in our market. Everyday buyers who are looking to get into the market and start building equity simply don't have nearly the amount of options that they had 5 or 10 years ago. Moving on to problem number 3, let's talk about some zoning and policy changes. So recently, the city has approved the upzoning of most of the peninsula and a lot of the outskirts as well. And on paper, while this seems like a great solution, and in many ways it is, more homes, more density, building faster. But the reality is the infrastructure in our city simply isn't ready. When you're looking at roads, schools, transit, healthcare, for example, the reality is these things are already stretched very, very thin. And by adding tens of thousands of people, we're going to start seeing, and we actually have been already seeing to some degree, a huge decrease in the quality of life. That is just the reality of where our city is at right now. And then you have the constant policy changes from all levels of government. One month it's the D-transfer tax, another month it's no Airbnbs, another month it's a rent cap, another month it is a foreign buyer ban. The result of this is buyers, sellers, and investors are hesitant because they don't know what's coming next. So the overall result to our market is a certain level of uncertainty, which is one of the worst things you could see in a healthy real estate market. Problem number 4, we have a market standoff. And if you're looking to buy or sell right now, you've probably seen this within the market. And that is that we have sellers on one side of the deal saying that, we're in no rush, we'll wait. They want yesterday's prices and they're willing to wait for it, and they will be patient and not move unless they get what they want. But on the other side of the coin, we have the buyers who are quite educated in today's market and they're not willing to overpay. And when you throw in a little bit higher interest rates on top of that, they're a little bit more cautious with every dollar that they're spending. The result is a standoff. Sellers won't reduce, buyers won't stretch, but at the same time, homes just sit on the market, but the prices don't really crash either. This is frustrating for all sides of a transaction. And finally, problem number 5, we have the tension between newcomers and locals. So non-resident investors and newcomers have added fuel to the fire, more demand in a market that certainly didn't need it. And this has helped to drive property values through the roof and rent prices through the roof as well. The result is resentment. Locals feel like they're being pushed out of their local markets. Newcomers are coming for a cheaper way of life and see our city as a cheaper option than, say, Toronto or Vancouver, for example. Non-resident investors see Halifax as just another good investment or an asset class. So this overall sentiment within our market just makes it feel even more broken. So looking at the big picture and tying it all together, where do we go from here? Well, for starters, I don't foresee a lot of these things changing drastically anytime in the near future. These are major issues that are going to take a lot of time to pull ourselves out of. But first of all, Halifax needs a lot more diverse housing options. Not just rentals, we need entry-level homes and we need more condos. It's unbelievable to me that every single new home that's being built right now, for the most part, is 2,800 square feet, above $750,000, 4-bed, 3.5 bath, crazy finishes, just out of reach for most Haligonians and most new buyers coming into the market. We need to get back to, let's say, 25 or 30 years ago when we were building those split level semis with bedrooms in the basement. We need to get back to building entry level homes, affordable homes to the masses. That is the supply that our market really needs. We don't need more $3,000 a month rentals. We need more homes that are, let's say, 1,200 square feet on a slab, 2-bed, 1 bath, maybe leave out the walk-in closet, leave out the ensuite, and let's make these homes more affordable to the masses so that new buyers and first-time home buyers can get into the market and start building equity. And that has a ripple effect right up through the entire market. Second of all, we need better planning overall with infrastructure. I know the new transit plan just came out from Nova Scotia. I kind of skimmed through it. It wasn't what I was expecting. There was a lot of promises in there, but there wasn't a lot of how they're going to fix these problems. Just saying, we're going to do this, but it doesn't really say how they're going to do it, how it's going to be paid for, or anything like that. So we need better planning for infrastructure, and that comes from all levels, talking roads, transit, schools, healthcare, you name it. And we need some policy stability. Over the last 5 years, I feel like we're always just one announcement away from the landscape of investing, buying, or selling real estate really changes. We're seeing tons and tons of rules coming into effect that is changing it very drastically, and we need more stability on these policies so that buyers, sellers, and investors will feel confidence and will want to invest and will want to build and will want to develop in our city. The Halifax real estate market isn't collapsing, but it is deeply flawed. And until we get to the root of some of these bigger issues, there's not going to be substantial changes that are going to be reflected right down to the level of a consumer looking to buy or sell at the ground level. So again, Halifax real estate isn't doomed, but it is certainly broken. And understanding some of these issues can really help you if you're looking to buy or sell a home in the Halifax area. And if you're thinking about making a move and you'd like to get in touch with me, don't forget you can reach out to me me anytime at the Calendly link below in my description at a time when it's convenient for you to book a call or a meeting with me. And if you get any value from this video, all I ask is that you hit that like button and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my future content. That'll help push this out to more people like you who may be interested in being educated in the Halifax and Nova Scotia real estate markets. And until next time, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your support and have a great day.